So in the spirit of looking at irregularities in Spanish and how to deal with them and how to identify them, I wanted to spend a little bit of time speaking about making your own rules. We've taught you a great amount of Spanish for you to be very conversational and reach fluency just through practice and listening in a very short amount of time if you get practicing. But we haven't looked at every single piece of content of Spanish, of course. But the content that we've looked at has taken from every area of the language in an analytical way, which will allow you to make your own rules when you come across things that you don't quite understand whilst you're practicing and exposing yourself to Spanish. So I just want to experiment a little bit in regards to that with you now. So I will present you with some imaginary situations where you see the language behaving in certain ways, and I want you to make your own rule. Now, it doesn't mean it's necessarily your own. Somebody else might have come up with it before, but that you will figure out for yourself what is going on. So, for example, the word for too, as in T-O-O, is demasiado. Demasiado.
Demasiado.
It's a bit of a long word, but if you break it up, it's easier to digest. You have de más of more, iado. And this is too, T-O-O, as in too many. Actually, de más can be used by itself. If you say, tengo cuatro de más, I have 4 of more, tengo cuatro de más, it means I have 4 too many, I have 4 spare, I have 4 extra. So, demasiado means too. Now, imagine you hear these following sentences, and I want you to work out what's happening here, why this word is behaving differently in different circumstances. So, you might hear demasiadas casas, you might hear demasiados coches, and you might hear demasiado agresivo, demasiado agresiva, and demasiado agresivos. Again, you might hear demasiadas casas, demasiados coches. Here, it's changing from the base form demasiado, no? Demasiadas casas, demasiados coches. And then here, it's not. Demasiado agresivo, demasiado agresiva, demasiado agresivos. So why in one situation is it changing, and why in the other situation is it not?
The only difference I see is that it's related to nouns in the first 2 examples, and in the second 2 it's related to something descriptive. Adjectives.
Espectacular. Well done. Brilliant. That's it. We said that identifying what type of word we have will mostly be all we need to do to figure out what's going on. So we understand from this that when demasiado goes with a noun, it will change to match it. Demasiadas casas, demasiados coches. But when it goes with an adjective, it won't. Demasiado agresivo, demasiado agresiva, demasiado agresivos, demasiado agresivas. Is not changing. So we didn't learn that here, but we've been analytical enough of the language for you to figure that out by yourself. So another example for you to figure out what's going on. Now the words alla, wing, agua, water, and aula, hall or classroom, are all feminine words. But we say el ala, the wing, el agua, the water, and el aula, the classroom. What's going on?
Is it because the first letter of those words is A, and it would be weird to say la, ala?
You have other words that begin with A, where you have la at the beginning. For example, la alfombra, the carpet, la almohada, the pillow. So you need to find something that's different between la almohada and la alfombra to el agua, el ala, el aula.
Well, the difference in this case is that it's just two syllables, perhaps.
That's it. They are 2 syllables and they begin and end in A. So it's a very specific thing. It's not something that we're really going to spend time on learning here in this course, because it's very likely as well that you forget it. So what we have done throughout this course is giving you the analytical skills to work it out by yourself and the confidence to make your own rules. So that's the rule. They're all feminine words, but they take L because they are two syllables and they begin and end with A. And we know that they are feminine because we say el agua fría, the cold water, fría, not frío. So we know they're actually feminine even though they're taking L. One more exercise like this. The word for one is uno. The word for some is alguno. And the word for none is ninguno. So we have uno, alguno, ninguno. One, some, none. So if I tell you how many do you want, you will reply to me uno. Or if you don't want any, ninguno. But if I say one man, how do I say one man or a man?
Un hombre.
Un hombre. And if I say some man, I say algún hombre. And if I say no man, I say ningún hombre. So we have uno, alguno, and ninguno. No quiero ninguno, quiero uno, quiero alguno. But if I say I want one car, for example, quiero un coche, quiero algún coche, no quiero ningún coche. So what's happening there? Why does uno become un, and why does alguno become algún?
Because a noun is following?
Yes, because we have a noun following it, and it loses that last o. So uno, alguno, ninguno become un, algún, ningún. And you would notice that it doesn't happen with the feminine. So we have una mujer, a woman, alguna mujer, some woman, ninguna mujer, no woman. So the point is just this, that we need to analyze the language that we are coming across, trying to pick out anything that we don't understand, to tackle it so that we control it and we understand what's happening, so that that element of the language doesn't control us. Very quickly, thinking in this way, you will get over your technical problems in the language. You will solve your technical problems. And then when you solve your technical problems in a specific language, then you can start to live freely in that language and become somebody else in that language that is also you, but somebody else, because you are using this mechanism or this tool which, as we've said a few times, permits and obliges you to perceive and express the world in a certain way. But before we can fully take advantage of that, we want to get over our technical difficulties. And this is achieved not through memorizing what is correct, but analyzing and understanding what is correct and finding why.